looking in my green room, it looks like. Hey,
Hello.
how are you doing, young man?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Yeah. I have a few minutes. When you think, I was like, okay, I can't not join now, but I'm going for lunch in less than 6 minutes, but I thought I'll quickly jump and say hi.
Yes, well, it's an honor to have you here. I wanted to ask you the obvious question. How many times have people talked about your haircut?
Oh, more than I can count. And
Yeah,
I keep on
I bet, yeah.
forgetting. I remember when I see someone I haven't seen in a while and they have this reaction, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Cut my hair.
Yeah. When we were at school, we used to say, "Have you had a fight with a lawnmower?"
Something like that.
That's right. But I mean, was there? I mean, we shouldn't pursue this too much, I don't suppose. But I mean, was there a reason?
I started training jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, around a year and a few months ago. And it was just for fun in the beginning, but it was getting a lot in the way. And eventually I started training 2 to 3 hours a day. And when you start training that much, you obviously have to make sure you wash it thoroughly every day. And not that I mind washing it, I did anyway, but drying it takes hours. So I have to do that every single day. It just became very inconvenient. It was also just getting on my way while doing jiu-jitsu. So I thought, okay, for 18 years, it hasn't bothered me. It's bothering me now, so I'll get rid of it.
Yeah, well, that's pretty decisive. I know somebody with very long hair who says that the washing is okay, but it's the drying that's the problem.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because you got layers of
I
it, haven't
also
you?
had like a smaller, like a more minor reason, which was I never liked the fact that I looked like the vegan hippie. Like whenever I was on the plane and they come and they're like, "Oh, you pre-ordered a vegan meal," and I'm always thinking like people next to me are probably thinking, "Yeah, of course he has. Like, look at him."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like looking like just like the every other person who's also a vegan. I prefer
Oh,
that.
and you think you succeeded in that look, do you, Seb?
Well,
But yeah, I know what you
it's
mean.
better than the
Living
prep.
up to the stereotype. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
How's
well,
everything going with you?
not too bad. I want to ask you about all the kind of food relief stuff that you're doing. I mean, it's
Yep.
really impressive. You know,
Yeah.
tell us a bit about that. Let's get serious
Yeah,
for
sure.
a second.
So the food distribution, plant-based food distribution project started with Lebanese vegans in 2020, I think, August 2020, when the explosion happened at the port of Beirut, second biggest man-made explosion basically in history, or third, something like that. And it caused 300,000 people to become homeless in a matter of seconds. And so, what we did at the time, we started distributing plant-based food to families in need, or boxes for those who do have a kitchen to access, because then you can get them bulk food and they can rely on it for a longer time. And so this was something that we did. Well, I launched a fundraiser with Lebanese vegans as a collab, and when I say Lebanese vegans, it's a grassroots organization in Lebanon called Lebanese Vegans. So we were all gathering in one place, preparing all these foods, and then distributing them every single day for a few weeks. And then we kept on getting donations, so we decided to make it a weekly thing. So the food distribution hasn't stopped for a single week since August 2020. And obviously, with the recent war on Lebanon, there were a lot of internal refugees, a lot of people also who lost their houses. So I relaunched like a fundraiser to get another boost. And again, we have enough to continue the project, and it has been continuing. Like even when I'm not in Lebanon, I want people to know like this is a project primarily ran by Lebanese Vegans, the organization. And so yeah, I don't want to take credit for all the hard work that they're doing. I just mainly help in giving them the platform because I have a bigger reach, and that helps a lot. So I mean, I join them whenever I'm in Lebanon, but I'm not always there. So when I'm not
Hmm.
there, the project is continuing. Yeah.
Well, before you drop off, feel free to put the details in the chat for people. very impressive thing that you're doing, Seb. And have you been able to visit Gaza, or are you allowed in? Or I mean, have you seen it? Have you seen what we see on our phones and all that?
Did you say Gaza?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't be able to enter
No,
Palestine
I
in
was wondering
general
about that. Yeah.
because in my passport they see that I'm born in Lebanon. So I'll probably be thrown in a jail in a second
Yeah,
on arrival.
yeah,
But
silly question.
yeah, but last week I went to the south of Lebanon, very close to the most southern borders, and I was able to see occupied Palestine for the first time. There was a hill and it had an antenna on it, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird. If that antenna was in Lebanon and we're in the south, that would have been bombed." And I opened Google Maps and I realized I was less than 5 kilometers away, and I was taking some photos and videos of the towns that like witnessed the strongest battles when the Israeli army was trying to enter. And some locals got really pissed and they were like, "You better get out of here before you get targeted." And the woman got really angry because I was next to her house and she was like, "Well, if he gets targeted, I'm gone with him." The house is right next to me. It was really intense. The south is completely destroyed. They've done specific effort to within some towns completely erase the town. Like there's not a single building that is still there. Everything is destroyed. But yeah, I was able to see Palestine for the first time, but that's the northern border of Palestine, which is now occupied by Israel. So that was quite an intense moment. I realized how real everything is.
Yes, absolutely, and so dangerous. So yeah, amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's. I mean, like we've all seen it, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like seeing it with your own eyes, isn't it? It's a little bit like when you take people into animal use facilities, slaughterhouses or
Yes.
unit.
Yeah.
The feel of it and the heat of it. It's different from seeing it on film, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and it's also it's not only what you see; it's the general feeling when you're there. It's the smell. Like some places, you arrive and within 10 minutes you get a migraine because of depleted uranium, chemical bombs being used there. Um, and the stench of human corpses mixed with the stench of animal corpses mixed with the smell of rotten food, the shops, the kitchens everyone has in their houses. So you experience much more when you're there in person, of course. So
Well,
I'll
look,
send
I'm very pleased that you're able to spare us some time and keep up the good work as
thank you.
always.
Thank you, same to you. Thank you very much for having me on, and yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates it.
Yes, and yeah, okay. So yeah, it's I'm a little bit overwhelmed by all that, because of what's going on at the moment. It's so, it's kind of, it's almost like, well, again, it makes you think, how are we going to forge a vegan world when there's this going on? Do you
Yeah,
feel that?
that has been one of my biggest concerns. Like, if we can't even have a basic like understanding and respect of human rights, like the most basic one, which is the right to live, the right not to be harmed. If we cannot even agree on that, it just frustrates me so much because I feel like the more I see human rights getting violated, the more I'm like, oh, there's no way we're gonna get animal rights. There's no way. If we can't even agree on this, yeah, it really makes me lose all hope.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, try and stay optimistic. I always try to stay as optimistic as Tom Reagan tried, but
Yeah,
it is a problem. I mean, going back a few years ago, when Trump said all that stuff about grab a pee and all that,
yeah, yeah,
I thought, right, that's it. Nobody in the world now will vote for this guy. Right?
yeah.
I just thought that's it. No one can survive that politically. And look what happens. It's amazing.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, appalling.
All right. I gotta bounce off. Thank you
Yeah.
again for
Okay,
having me.
Seb. Thanks very much for
All right.
popping on. It's
Thank
great to
you.
see you.
Great to see you too. Take care, everyone.
Okay. So you just press the leave studio, yeah? I think that's yeah. Right. Oh well, that was a great surprise. That was lovely, and Seb is doing some fantastic work. and as you can tell, in a dangerous place. Again, you know, even kind of like just taking some photographs. Interesting about the woman, wasn't it? Kind of go away. You're putting me in danger as well as yourself. You know, yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. So, yes, indeed. What do you think about this thing about the vegan world? Because it's obviously something we don't want to be too negative about, and but you know, when you do see world events and world values and world voting patterns and stuff, you do think it's bound to cross our mind, isn't it? And you think, oh, come on, you know, how is it going to happen? You know, if this is going on. Don't know if everybody feels like that or not. Anyway, moving on.